What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Memory Lane Comics and Toys. I'm Jake.
I'm Eric.
And we're here to talk about the Age of Ultron Hawkeye.
Hawkeye!
Pizza dog.
Pizza dog. Man, if this came with a pizza dog, it would have been the best toy of the year.
Was Pizza Dog in the movie?
He was not in the movie.
Was there a dog in the...
I don't remember a dog when they went to his house, but there could have been one. I hope it's Pizza Dog if they did go to his house and have a dog.
I gotta watch the movie again. It was... I really... Well... Anyways, I like that Hawkeye was more fleshed out in this movie. It made it more fun and more real as a character, because before it's just kind of like...
He was flat.
Yeah, what's the deal with this guy? He like sits up in a perch and just kind of stares at people.
Yeah, he was like, I'm real aggressive and I'll shoot you with my bow and arrow. But now it's like, oh, he's got a family and it's like he's trying to protect his secret. So Age of Ultron made this character awesome. Hot Toys has brought this character to life.
I absolutely agree. I think with this costume, he's got more of a superhero vibe.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the coat. I would like to see more of a tactical look, but what they've done for the movie is so perfect. It really, really knocked it out of the park.
As usual, we're just going to start right off with the head sculpt. I think it's the one thing we usually can talk about with Hot Toys, and minus the Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy, this is once again an amazing head sculpt.
Yeah,
and it
really
looks just like him. I really feel that they're just 3D printing the exact images off, because the way they're doing the shading in the cheeks, you know, if you tilt his head just ever so slightly, you see that he has a higher cheekbone on the right, and he's supposed to almost be looking down his bow and arrow. They've mastered the look of these, because sometimes we'll get them in, we look at the head sculpt and we're like, this head sculpt doesn't really make sense. But then you start to pose them and you get what you're supposed to do with them.
It really, really does. I mean, and he's, you know, he's actually pretty dynamic as far as that goes with the different hands. They've done a great job of making it where you can put him in the right position.
Yeah, he's got all different hands. He's got hands that can pull back the bow. He's got some to just hold it. He's here. He's got the pointing to line it up. I like the hands. They've given him the little like rubber pieces so that he'd be able to hold the string a little tighter. I think that's really cool and something I don't think many would notice, but it makes the hands different, and I like that. I like that they're incorporating the functionality. I love the costume. I've always been a big fan of how almost ridiculous Hawkeye looked in the comic books. He had this like, I mean, the purple and everything was really dramatic. It would not work on screen. It would be so stupid that no one would ever want to pay attention with that headpiece. This is them making his costume from the comic as real as they could get it.
Absolutely.
I like the coat. I think it's cool that he's in the long coat. I thought it looked cool in the movie. That being said, this coat completely hinders this figure.
Yeah, it takes away a lot of the posability that you like from him, especially for a character that you really want to be.
Oh, you want him to do everything, and they made like, you know, they've been doing this a lot where if it's a heavy coat, the arms are actually separate from the coat so you can get him really posable. But for me, this coat, it makes him hard to pose with his legs. I can't get him down as low as I want. I wanted to kind of give him this like coming up look to shoot, and you can't get it as easily with the coat.
Well, the mesh here in the back really does make it pretty stiff.
It does. And
had they done away with that?
If there was no mesh and it opened up in the front the same way it opens up in the, like, you know, if the front and back opened up the same way and you could unzip the coat, you could probably get him wherever you want. And I get what they did. The coat is more for like this look. The coat is for him standing. It's really not his action pose. You can remove the coat and he becomes a lot more functional.
Yeah.
But my thing is, once you remove this coat, he becomes the same figure they released last time. The coat is the real difference maker in this. So for me to remove the coat, I'm like, oh, well then why didn't I just get the Avengers run, the original Hawkeye, with the sleeveless cut? Because that guy, you could pose that figure all day. You know, and this right here is where it hinders it.
Well, I don't know. I guess the reason to me why you would get this one lies with the accessories. This thing is redonkulous as far as what it comes with. All the trick arrowheads that you'd want, anything that's going to explode, grab something, make them where you can fly across a building, whatever you want to do, he's got that ability with
He's even got the little arrowhead that like hits the head and stops the Ultron units in their tracks.
He literally has like maybe 30 arrows or something like that.
It's insane.
And they're all made so that you can pull the tip of the arrow off and pop it on a different one. So you can basically pull off whatever look you like to pull off.
Well, and it came with a really nice quiver for the back, and the way they did it, there's little clips inside of the quiver so that you can do arrows on one side, arrow on the other, and literally fill this quiver with like 20 arrows, which it's really hard to get them in. They don't clip in that easy. I felt like I was going to break them a lot of times because they're flimsy, but at the same time, you know, it's an arrow. They can't make these metal and too hard, so I think they did a really good job of the quiver. Right on the back, they have a really nice location where you can actually put the arrow he's about to load up.
Yeah.
So you can put a really cool tip on it, and it really shows off.
Well, and the dynamic part of posing him to me wasn't in that. And I agree with you, where you'd want to have him posed up with, you know, really cool, where he's shooting an arrow. But that almost doesn't work because you can't really. There's almost impossible to have it where it's pulling back an arrow or firing or anything. So you get him in that stance where he just shot one, he's pulling another one out, and you can absolutely nail that with this thing.
This is the pose we kind of went with. This is the pose that worked for me. I put him in this pose in the shop, and I was like, okay, that's it. Hawkeye's ready to go. He's in standing attention. The arrows are cool. Let's get into the bow. They did a lot of different things with the bow. They give you a standard bow, which is his compound bow, but it doesn't fold up, and it just has the string on it. Really cool bow.
It looks amazing. I think the detail on it with the purple and little checkerboard.
Yeah, it's got a little like
awesome.
Carbon fiber look to it. I can tell it's carbon fiber. It's got a little scope on the side of it. It's really, I mean, it looks like a bow. If I enlarged it and picked it up, it would work, and that's what's so cool about it. And I did have a complaint when I first opened the box. I'm like, oh, it's just one bow. I wish I could have that compound look of him running with his bow. Well, they gave it to me. They gave us this cool little, like, it folds out, and it's the exact same bow. It just, this one goes compound and folds out.
I can't believe they managed to get the little hinges that perfectly well.
Oh, man.
It actually does seriously fold out into about the exact same bow. So if you wanted to have it where you just, like you said, you had him just grabbing it and he's running, or he's just getting ready to do something. They killed it. This is great.
My first complaint was like, oh, it doesn't have a string on it. That's the only difference. But Jake made a good point to me. If you fold it up with that string, the string's just going to be hanging everywhere. So I think this is the cool option if you want him running around. It comes with the cool, like, I'm going to shoot 7 Ultrons at once because I'm Hawkeye and that's what I do. It's really cool. It's not really functional, but it's cool. Like, as far as accessories go, they didn't just give me 20 bows and arrows. They gave me 20 arrows with 17 different tips and this really cool bulky arrow, which I think is so cool. And then, you guys know, we love magnets. They started putting magnets in Hot Toys.
These things are awesome.
Hawkeye's no different. There's this cool little arrow quiver at the bottom here, and there's simply a magnet underneath the boot, a magnet in here. Boom, it slips onto the side, and it looks like, you know, that's how they would function. It would come off really quick if he needed them. He could stick it down in there and be good to go. And, you know, it's something so simple that Hot Toys is starting to do. They're just putting a little magnet in the boot, and, you know, out of everything we did with this figure when we first got it, I was like, oh my god, Jake, it has magnets.
we're getting ridiculously excited about the magnet stuff.
Well, it just makes these work. You know, when they did it on Captain America, it made that my favorite figure they've done.
Well, clips on a figure break often.
All the time.
They don't. It doesn't hang right. I mean, it's just so difficult to make it look right. And the magnets thing is like, I mean, to me, it's changed Hot Toys. And
completely.
This is ridiculous. It is so cool. It steps up to make it even more worth the money and hobby that you're into as far as the stuff goes. It is awesome.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about a lot with this figure. I think the clothes look so good. They made the material they're using for the pants, the boots, and the coat. It looks like some kind of high-tech fiber that S.H.I.E.L.D. would have made. It doesn't just look like fabric. It's really heavy. It's really durable. You know, I almost feel this could deflect a bullet if it was taken directly on. And they've done a good job with the figure of translating that to me.
Should have let the Quicksilver, I guess. Maybe he would have just let the bullet fly.
Yeah, Quicksilver is as fast as he can be, but he's not quite fast enough. So maybe if they had teamed up with S.H.I.E.L.D., he would have got a better looking tracksuit, and I think that would have made him a little more durable. This Hawkeye is durable.
I love it, man. I'm really impressed by this figure.
And back, you know, I'm just going to end with, we talked about the Black Widow and how they've been using real hair and fake hair. I think they nail it with this, like, plastic molded hair.
It looks straight up real. I mean, the paint is are absolutely great. The sculpt is perfect.
Well, yeah, and they give it, it looks like there's a little hair gel in it. It looks like he does dye his hair. They've translated it with a piece of, like, hard rubber, and I think that is so cool that you don't need real hair. You can make it look like a cool post hair there. How do you feel about it, Jake? Is this the best Hawkeye they've done? Are you excited for the next one?
I really, I've seen the costume of Captain America Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
And I cannot wait for that one because it's more of the ultimate look where he's just straight up tactical stuff. He's got the one sleeve on.
No coat, just ready to go.
That to me is the one that I'm really looking forward to, but this figure is great. If you enjoyed him in the movie, you can't go wrong with this thing. I absolutely love it. So to me, it's a perfect buy if you're loving the Hawkeye figure, or the Hawkeye from the movie. If you missed the first one especially, but to me, I can't wait for the Captain America Civil War.
I think the Civil War one's going to knock it out of the park too, but As of right now, this is a can't miss figure for me.
Absolutely.
If you have the Avengers and you don't have Hawkeye, how do you not get this figure?
Well, that'll do it for our review of Hawkeye from the Age of Ultron. Eric, I'm loving this figure. You guys gotta check it out. Go see it somewhere, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching our video, guys. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos on MLC TV on YouTube.
Check out our website, mlcshop.com. You can find all kinds of cool new information, all of our picks of the week. It's an awesome website.
And if you're ever in Wilmington, don't forget to stop by and check us out. We got a huge shop we love to share with the world. And thanks, guys.